In the first hour, we talked about it a little bit. Jamal Adams has been sent to the Seattle Seahawks from the New York Jets to the Seattle Seahawks. This has been a situation, controversy, drama that has been cooking for the last couple months. Jamal Adams, this is alleged to all have started around him and the GM, Mr. Douglas, Joe Douglas. Joe Douglas. General manager for the New York Jets. He and Joe Douglas having a conversation either about an extension or business or something like that, because he's this young stud who was a first-round pick just a couple years ago, all-pro, Pro Bowler. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. I think this is just a conversation that everybody has come to understand at this point as a safety for the Jets. He and Joe Douglas, who's a new GM, had a conversation about maybe an extension. Joe Douglas told him that he wouldn't take calls for a trade, and Jamal Adams said, I want to be here. I don't want to get traded. And then just like a couple weeks later, it was alleged that he was potentially trying to trade Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams then came out publicly. He said, I don't like this. I don't like the way business is being done. I'm a good player. I hate this place. Get me out of here. I want to be traded. So then it spilled out even more whenever he was driving in his G-Wagon in front of a grocery store. Some random Cowboys fan said, hey, come down to the Cowboys, Jamal. And he said, I'm trying. That blew up the internet. But then it came out that he wasn't being traded. Le'Veon Bell even came out and said, like, hey, he's not going to get traded. Let's go ahead and handle this. Let's just move forward. This happens in families sometimes. Sometimes families have a little bit of a tiff with each other. Well, that tiff escalated. In an interview last week, Jamal Adams is quoted as saying that Adam Gase stinks and he's never going to win a Super Bowl, and this guy should get the hell out of here. I know they were thinking about potentially trading me. They should trade this guy who not only is opening press conference, had his eyes wide open, and last year we stunk and all this stuff. Now, granted, we didn't have Sam Darnold, but he stunk in Miami. This guy stinks here, never going to win the Super Bowl. That interview, boom, blows up. He quote tweets said interview, so everybody that follows him will listen to the interview. He had to delete it, obviously, because I assume he got some backlash from the Jets team. But that became a situation where he crossed the line that he couldn't come back. Because if you think about this from Adam Gase, no matter how you think of him as a head coach, right? A lot of people think he stinks. That is TBD, I guess. He won when Peyton Manning was calling all the plays. So, I don't know. I mean, there's different ways to look at it, but he didn't have a quarterback last year for the first 6 weeks or whatever. A kid who, by the way, looked very good. So will Adam Gase be a good coach? We don't know. TBD. Jamal Adams doesn't think so. But if you're Adam Gase, there's zero chance you can have a team meeting or expect the locker room to respect you when your best player has already said that you stink. So we all knew. We talked about it last week. AJ Hawk and I talked about it last week. The boys and I talked about it last week. When you come out publicly and say, this guy stinks, we're never going to win, then you promote it and you stand by it, we knew he was on his way out. And by the way, that's trade. If you want to get traded, how to get traded 101. This coach stinks. We ain't never going to win with him. Boom, you're gone no matter who you are, even if you're a perennial Pro Bowler and All-Pro. In return, the Jets get 2 first-round picks in the future and another safety from the Seahawks. But the future looks bright. The future looks bright. The future looks bright. How long have the Jets heard that and been told that now they lose a perennial superstar in the back end of their defense that you could build a team around? He's now in Seattle, and he is very happy about it. Yesterday, he posted a video of himself with sunglasses on, big old cigar, playing a little dominoes. It reminded me of an Earl Thomas situation, which is interesting because the Seahawks haven't had a real guy back there as a safety since Earl Thomas was there, and everybody knows the Earl Thomas ended bad. Will Jamal Adams in Seattle end bad? He was getting a lot of hate for his reaction to the trade, but I assume in his mind, he doesn't give a damn. Get me to the Seahawks. I can't wait to do a bird call up there.
Are you surprised, because you said last week, like, hey, there's no way that Jamal Adams can be on this team, that the Jets got 2 first-round picks, a third-round pick, and a starting safety for someone who basically the league knew and you knew that couldn't be on the Jets anymore?
You know, we all knew it couldn't be. I mean, the Seattle Seahawks here, a lot of people are saying they got fleeced because it was 2 first-rounders. But you have no idea what that first-rounder is going to be. And all the people who are Jets fans, including Greeny, he said this on Get Up this morning because he's a diehard Jets fan. I don't know why. He seems like a smart man. He could have went other direction as a child, but I assume his dad was a big Jets fan. Not a single Jets fan feels as if Joe Douglas or Adam Gase are going to get those first-round picks right. You got it right with Jamal Adams. We got a guy. Hey, we got a guy. Now you're rolling the dice on your brain being able to execute another couple times for the end up to be a true payoff. Well, TBD on if this is a good trade or not. Nobody can say who won this trade yet because we don't know how it works out. But I will say the Seattle Seahawks now get a dog in the back end and they potentially set their team up to go on a run, which maybe gets Jadeveon Clowney back in the room if he likes where the team is at and where it's set up at.